Yeah.
Forbes first.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Westchester, Pennsylvania for the first of two semifinal matchups at the 2016 ACHA Division II National Championship Tournament. I'm Andrew Shapiro, joined alongside Sean Bretherick. And Sean, what we have today is the first of two spectacular games. This first game, though, between the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles and the Grand Valley State Lakers is shaping up to be a classic.
Oh, it's absolutely shaping up to be a classic. You see, you got a team that's been here numerous amounts of times with Florida Gulf Coast. 2 years in a row they've been the runner-up, here in the national tournament, both falling short each time. They'd like to try to get back there again for the third time in 5 years, I believe it is. And you have Grand Valley State that's always been in the mix as well, but hasn't been able to get into that final, and they're going to be looking to try to get in for the first time in a little while. It's an interesting matchup, really, because Grand Valley State is just a very fast team. We know that Florida Gulf Coast has a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that speed matches up against Florida Gulf Coast's ability to move the puck around and have all these guys that can put the puck in the net.
And on the other side, we have this Grand Valley team that has not been to the finals since 2013, so they're looking to get back this year. They have a tough task ahead of them. And before we got started, our Dave Kurtz was able to sit down and have a conversation with head coach Mike Forbes. So let's hear that interview now.
All right, I'm here with head coach of Grand Valley State, Mike Forbes. Mike, congratulations on making it to the semis.
Thank you. Big win for us yesterday. Exciting game with New York, and they came back and tied the game up. Obviously, we won in overtime. An emotional roller coaster for our guys. So hopefully we can settle down a little bit today and put forth a good effort.
After the first two games, when you guys kind of pushed away at the end, and you had this game where NYU comes back, what were you telling your guys before they went out for the overtime?
Well, we just wanted to make sure that we got back on track. I mean, New York kind of tilted the ice in the first part of the third period. We flattened the surface a little bit with about 5 or 6 minutes to go, and we wanted to make sure that we pushed a little bit offensively and tried not to take too many chances. And we had some really good looks in overtime, and then finally broke through with that goal. But we just wanted us to be patient. When we get to this level, the guys are really, really emotional. We expend a lot of emotional energy, a lot of physical energy, and I think that we just need to be a little more controlled that way.
All right, so you're taking on FGCU, a team that you have played several times throughout the years at Nationals, including up in Grand Rapids. So talk to me a little bit about what you guys are looking for today against them.
Well, they're always a good program and always a very talented team, and they have good offense. They stretch the puck really well. We played them earlier in the season in the showcase down in Lindenwood. I think it was either a 3-2 or a 4-3 game. Really hard fought and an excellent game for that time of the year. So we expect the same thing today. I mean, they'll roll 4 lines at you. They've got a lot of offensive firepower, so we have to pay attention to defense and make sure that we've got good numbers coming back through the neutral zone so that we don't create too many odd man rushes. But it's going to be a great game. Hopefully the two teams show up and we're able to play. We've got some tired legs and some tired boys right now, but it's the same for both sides. So we look forward to an exciting game.
All right, last question. Tell me just a little bit about who you're starting in net and how he's been throughout the tournament.
It'll be Yuri Aberly. Yuri is a fifth-year senior for us. He played in our D3 team. He's from Czech Republic. He's a really interesting kid. He's actually going and doing his graduate work in business at the University of Vienna for international business. He's had a solid tournament for us, had a solid year for us, and he's a very acrobatic goaltender. Gets out of his net a little bit, so we can look forward to some exciting times today with the puck. But Yuri will get the start in net, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
All right, well, best of luck. We'll talk to you during the game.
Thanks, David.
And that was Dave Kurtz with Mike Forbes. And Sean, you talked about it earlier. Grand Valley has to play good defense today because Florida Gulf has such prolific scoring, don't they?
I mean, it starts and ends with one of their veteran players. You got Dylan Dupree with 110 points this season, and of course Dan Echeverry has been here, for the past few years already with 107, 48 goals, 59 assists. Credit NYU for playing them really tough yesterday, Grand Valley, and defensively, you could, the way that they were skating so effortlessly and really able to control the puck. I don't know if they're going to be able to dominate puck possession as much as they will today with Florida Gulf Coast. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they're going to be able to do this against a team with that kind of firepower. As you, if you couldn't tell, the Grand Valley State Lakers have gotten onto the ice there. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers are going to be able to defend this Florida Gulf Coast offense. Really.
Absolutely. And to get to Florida Gulf, we had a chance to sit down with Bob Brinkworth, the head coach of the Eagles.
Sure. Hey, I'm here with the head coach of FGCU, Bob Brinkworth. And Bob, first of all, congratulations on making it to another semifinal.
Yeah, it's, two of the games in the pool went to overtime yesterday, and we decided there. Getting out of your pool is always a challenge, and fortunately we had a very aggressive game yesterday and survived this far. So.
Yesterday you were able to pull away at the end from ASU. Talk to me a little bit about some of the speed that you guys have on offense that really frustrated the Sun Devils yesterday.
Well, I think, we were ahead 2-1 and then 3-2, and so it forced them to open up a little bit. It was 3-2 through most of the third period, and we got an odd man break and executed very well. And getting a 4-2 lead in the third period was pretty key because we could play a very defensive style, and they pulled their goalie early, so the last couple of minutes with a 5-2 lead, things were pretty well secure.
All right, we're looking forward today. You're taking on Grand Valley, a team that you've faced several times throughout your guys' national history, including the year you guys won your national championship down in Fort Myers. What are you looking to see against them today?
Well, I know Mike Forbes very well and respect him a lot. He played in the NHL, and he's an excellent coach. And I coached 1 year with him in Europe when we took the All-Star team over there. And he has a very aggressive skating team, very good forechecking team, and keeps the energy up through the whole game. And they've always been very hard to score on for any team. And we played them at the beginning of the year, and the score was 3-2, which is kind of a typical score between our two teams, that lower scoring, and we have to concentrate on defense because we know we're not going to score a lot of goals against them.
All right, tell me just as a final question a little bit about your captain, Dan Echeverry, as he's finishing up his career here at FGCU.
Well, he's his character, his personality, he has NHL skating ability, and unfortunately he's hurt his shoulder a couple of times, and so he's actually being operated on Friday of this week once we get back to Fort Myers. So he's been a terrific player, and also a great captain in the locker room.
All right, Coach, well, best of luck. We'll talk to you during the game.
Thank you, Dave.
And that was Bob Brinkworth with our Dave Kurtz. So, Sean, Florida Gulf knows this is going to be a low-scoring game. How does that affect the game plan for both these teams?
Grand Valley State, once again, it's, they just got to be playing their game. Both teams are got to have to play their game. That's the bottom line. They can't worry about what the other team is going to do. They need to try to make the opposition play their game, bottom line, and that's, whoever can do that the best is going to win this one.
Absolutely. We got a great one for you. So we'll step aside for the national anthem, and when we come back, it'll be Brett Luther and Rasty McGibbon on the call. Thanks for watching, folks.
And with that last little bit from the crowd here at Iceline in Rink 1, we welcome you to National Semifinal number 1. Brett Luther, Rasty McGibbon, we've seen these teams many times before on this stage, Rasty. It's looking to be an excellent game here this afternoon.
It is absolutely going to be a fantastic contest, and really there are things that both teams have to look out for. We talked about yesterday just Florida Gulf Coast being explosive when they hit that far blue line and charge into the zone. But I will tell you something, it is a hard thing to face when you have a team like Grand Valley that is consistently putting upwards of 50 shots on the shot clock. And that is something, we know at times when you get to this semifinal level that the goaltender Reed has had some issues in the past. Hopefully he can be a cornerstone for this Florida Gulf team today.
A bouncing puck right in front of the net off the bat. We get a whistle just 9 seconds in as the net came off. Net not quite down into the ice there. It's not your usual pegs that you will see in NHL arenas. It's just your standard metal posts.
Mooring post, yeah. Face-off is going to come to the glove side of the goaltender for Grand Valley.
That goaltender is Yuri Aberle. This bouncing puck through. Aberle's had a good tournament thus far, as you heard Coach Forbes says, an acrobatic goaltender. A shot save made Aberle, and he's just going to hold on.
When I did actually see the Florida Gulf Coast Arizona State game yesterday, one thing that it seemed with Florida Gulf, they seemed to be almost a little bit too picky with where they were going to take the shot from. And when you have a team like Grand Valley, that's the absolute opposite. They are going for quantity, sometimes maybe not quality. Florida Gulf may need to tweak there and see if they can get more rubber on the net.
This is one of those matchups, the open style of the Florida Gulf Coast likes to play against a great systems team, a great disciplined team in Grand Valley. A chip right on goal. It's going to be gloved by Mike Reed, and he sets it aside.
One thing that I've said throughout this tournament, in your defensive zone, and as you play on, and these teams have punched their ticket for play today in the semis, and one of them will go on to punch their ticket for tomorrow, they have got to get those feet moving when they pick up the puck in their defensive zone. I know a lot of times when you're playing teams that are not this caliber, you have the opportunity to have a look for that outlet pass, but here you are going to have to get those feet moving, at least take a couple strides, and then see if you can have an outlet pass then. We do already see shots, 2-1.
A shot, save made, the rebound's loose, and now the shots are even at 2, and another one hits the side of the net before this one gets slugged up and out of the zone. Skating back for this one is Lucas Little, number 28. Here's a cross-ice pass. Tom Luzinski, number 4. And into the zone. Set up behind, Florida Gulf Coast in the black jerseys, trimmed out in multiple shades of blue. They'll skate the puck out now.
And palm trees.
And palm trees, yes, on the shoulders. Which is, I do like the new uniforms here for Florida Gulf Coast. The tie up now behind the net. Trying to spin away is Mike Tamello, number 17. Lets it out in front, high slot. And the Eagles look to set up in the zone. It's Chris Crossman, number 5. His shot goes wide. The rebound bounced around a little bit. And still now, Grand Valley in control. Scoreless, 2 minutes gone by. A cross-ice pass. It's Colin Finkhouse, number 19. Dips the shoulder, sends it back out to the point. Zach Goodrich, number 6, wants to send down low. He's tied up along the wall, and the Eagles break out. 1-on-1, or more like a 1-on-2 the other way. Eduardo Leon, number 24. Centering pass. Save made by Aberle.
Fantastic job by Aberle to get across and almost get into the full spread eagle there as he was able to get the body in front of the puck. But a defensive breakdown there by Grand Valley. And I will tell you one thing from watching this Florida Gulf Coast team yesterday. You cannot break down in the defensive zone because they will exploit your weakness and the puck will be in the back of the net before you can say Green Apple quick step.
Off the face-off. That's a nice one. Off the face-off, it'll be controlled by the Eagles. Grand Valley in the white jerseys, trimmed in black and blue, going from right to left here in the first period. Aberle sets it up behind the net. Coming down low to help him out now is Reed Burnett, number 12. Burnett's got to go behind the net. He's got 2 game-winning goals in this championship series that we call pool play, including the overtime winner against NYU.
And you're seeing a tremendous amount of pressure being applied there in this Grand Valley zone. And one thing that Grand Valley is going to have to do is not spring those wingers up all the way out to the center ice line. Keep them close as they are able to act as an extra outlet for those defensemen trying to get the puck out of the zone.
With it now, the Eagles trying to wind it up instead of retreating on this is Chamello. Cross ice pass, and now Florida Gulf Coast comes 2-on-2, the flip and the line change on full scale for Florida Gulf Coast. Coming out the other way is Tom Luzinski, number 4. Gives a pass on up ahead for a shot side of net, never gets through. Rebound sent up and out of the zone. And in on the race here, winning the puck battle, or at least for the moment, before this one comes out to center. Cross ice pass. A couple players chop at it. Jordan Klotz, number 12, is going to send it in for Florida Gulf Coast. Scoreless game here. A little over 4 minutes gone by. Ahead goes Luzinski. He puts a pass across. It's knocked down. And now the Eagles break out the other way in a 3-on-3. Stepping ahead for a wrist shot that goes wide. Rebound comes near side wall, sent deep. Mike Gudowitz, number 20. Bouncing puck out to center ice. And now Alex Ostrowski, number 23, in. Sticked away by Reed. That centering pass out in front.
And actually there was
Check that out, Reed. Tyler Tracy in goal.
There was an instance yesterday where ASU got credited with a
that is Reed, sorry.
with a power play goal as the puck actually played very awkwardly off a stanchion. Reed went out to play it, and ASU was able to pop one.
That is Reed in goal. The mask is undeniable.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's definitely you cannot miss Mike Reed out there. In the meantime, his teammates have offensive zone pressure, and the shot goes over the bar. To the point it goes. Grosvenor can't collect. On the other way now, Michael Bishop. And across the line, and he gets tied up in the near side corner. Puck out to center.
Do you want to take this opportunity to send a quick shout out to Liam Wolf, who is recovering from a broken finger, the original Wolf man. Hope you're doing well and on the road to recovery, and don't need any open reduction internal fixation, if you know what that is.
Spoken like a true doctor.
I took a first aid course once.
Going the other way.
Online.
In a 2-on-3. And we also stayed at Holiday Inn Express at one point.
Yeah. No, I'm staying at the Embassy Suites.
Oh, there you go.
Because we get breakfast.
Koleski couldn't keep in. It comes all the way down. Breakfast is always good. And this is an icing against Florida Gulf Coast. 13:55 to go first period. No score.
I heard that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, but I also read that Obama was a woman. So, it's hard to think what you can believe. 13:55 left to go in this first period. I am Rasty McGibbon. Brent Lutner, my partner on this broadcast. 4-3 shots on goal for Grand Valley.
And a shot save made by Reed through a screen. Rebound to the point. Winds and fires to his Birchler. Another save. Reed is way out on a rebound. And now Florida Gulf Coast goes the other way. Good play, back checking. Now everybody's got their headphones working, I would imagine. And we come up center ice on deflection. Retreating on this one is Logan Garst, number 3. Turnaround and puck looking to get out of the zone, not able to do so.
And I'll tell you one thing I found yesterday in that game, Florida Gulf versus ASU. One thing that seems to be a bit of an issue for Reed is rebounds off those big leg pads. And a lot of times the rebounds are pretty juicy out in front. And, Grand Valley, as they do send guys to the net pretty hard and heavy, that could be something they may be able to take advantage to as this contest wears on.
In the zone is Chamello. Shooting score! Mike Chamello finds a hole on Yuri Averly. And with 12:48 to go, first blood drawn by the Eagles.
And, that was really a puck that seemed to have eyes as it squeezed in between those large leg pads. And not so much as we heard Mike Forbes talk about early on, more of a reflex slash acrobatic goalie and not a pure butterfly guy, as that may have seemed somewhat of an easy shot, but was able to squeak from this near boards 5-hole, and it is 1-0 as Florida has scored a goal on 4 shots.
And so the Eagles have struck first, and a shot that's sticked aside into the corner by Aberle. The Eagles now look to come out to center and do. On the right wing side, it's Ostrowski.
And this probably is the first
In front of a shot.
the first time in this tournament that Grand Valley has had to play from behind. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond
Send in from center.
in terms of defensively and intensity-wise.
Of the two teams, which team would you figure is more equipped to handle coming from behind? Would it be?
And you know what? Not trying to give you a diplomatic answer. I would tend to think that they're pretty even, but they're even in different ways. I think they're even in the sense because Grand Valley just pummels you with shots. Florida Gulf, we saw in their special teams yesterday. Really was, in my opinion and for my own taste, was too selective in the shots they tried to take on special teams. And it's okay to do that when you have the lead. When you're playing from behind, you have to be a little bit more desperate and almost go for quantity and hope the hockey gods are in your favor.
That shot deflected over. Even though statistically Florida Gulf is 5 for 11 on the power play, they've only had 3 power play opportunities in the last 2 games. And now turnover, shot, save made by Reed. We spilled it. Nobody there to collect the rebound for Grand Valley. 7 shots to 6 in favor of the Lakers, but they trail 1-0 here against the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles as we come up on 9 minutes gone by here in the first period.
You know, one thing I will tell you about Grand Valley in the games that I have had the opportunity to call for them, they are a team that Mike Forbes, and not in any way to discount what Bobby Brinkworth does. Mike Forbes has played in the show, and when he comes and says, guys, I know from experience you have to buy into this, and you just have to play 60 minutes of this, and when you invest in this through 60 minutes, the dividends will be there at the end of that time. And he does a very good job of getting his guys to do that.
A shot goes wide. Coach Forbes, of course, having played with the Edmonton Oilers.
And Boston, I think.
Well, we definitely have seen him in an Oiler jersey, yes, and I do believe he did have a brief moment with the Bruins as well. Either way, you get to the show and you play with some greats, as this one's knocked aside by Reed and wisely stuck to the near side boards. When you get to the show and you play with such guys like Gretzky and Messier and Bourque and the likes, you kind of have a thing or two to know about the sport. In the meantime,
Glenn Anderson.
Oh, Glenn Anderson.
Paul Coffey.
Kevin Lowe. The list could go on with those Oilers.
Grant Fuhrer.
And Andy Moog is the backup for a while, or starter 1A, if you will. This around the wall. Rasty and I will continue the Edmonton Oilers discussion sometime in intermission as this one comes up to center and the Lakers regather. Wisely not touching that was Troy Merritt, as it would have been offside. Now the Lakers get the setup on the forecheck here, which they do have a tenacity in doing so. However, center ice on that chip out, Goodrich retreats. Sends right back in, wide of Reed's cage, and from when I first saw him a couple years ago, Mike Reed looks a little more aggressive in the cage here than when I saw him a couple years ago in Marlborough.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful with that. Yesterday was an odd bounce that burned him, but that's one thing. As we've talked about, Grand Valley has no.
Turnover here, a nice defensive play in the 2-on-2 essentially, and we get a whistle behind the play. Penalty call coming up. A cross-checking call will be made, and there will be a power play. Our first one of the contest with 9:10 to go, and Florida Gulf Coast will be the beneficiary of it. Into the box goes Reed Burnett.
Now, having watched both teams on special teams, the speed of Florida Gulf is really what's going to burn you. As we talked about, they seemed a little selective on their power play yesterday in terms of 7, 8, 9 passes. So there's one, and we'll count.
And here we go. And Rasta's going to count probably while I'm calling this. There's the fourth one as the Eagles set it up in the zone. Heads back to the point, snapping one through Dupre right into the midsection. Oh, check it. Well, it went into the midsection of Aberley.
And Aberley was just out on the boundary of that blue crease ice into the white ice, and he's a big lad and not really a lot of netting to look at. And that puck was caught somewhere in his equipment. He did the little Charleston jig there in the net, and the puck trickled out. And we're going to have a face-off to his blocker side.
Interesting. It's Dupre and Echeverry on the points here for Florida Gulf Coast as this one gets sent all the way down. Nick Hauser is one of the forwards up front, along with Colton Bailey. And then hanging way up high is Jordan Klotz, who's got 45 goals on the season coming into this one, including tournament play. Onside here are the Eagles. So there are 5 big scores here on the power play. Klotz has got it. Heads back to the point and then was going to get a return pass before Hauser cut it off. Nick Hauser outside the left wing circle. He plays catch with Dupre. Hauser goes across. Echeverry shot and a nice glove save by Aberley, and he holds on.
Interesting thing is we talk about shots and points and goals, and it would be interesting if we had an adjusted statistic. If you based it all on a 30-game schedule, because some teams, we were just in the in the room there, and we were talking to the coach from Utah State. And they're playing over 30 games per year. And, statistically, it is, you have a better chance to elevate your statistics when you're playing more games. But there should be an adjusted statistic because, obviously if you played 150 games and you had 200 goals, it's possible, but not in any way.
Score through a screen! Logan Garch just took one through, and Aberley couldn't get to it in time. A power play goal. Eagles lead 2-0.
Shots 10-9, and as you said, a very well executed, and again a lot of passing, which has been my criticism of Florida Gulf. But that time they did use men in front as traffic, and a shot from about 45 or 50 feet, and it was able to make it way through. And we are 2-0 with 8:02, and we could potentially get a media timeout now.
No, not after goals, I don't believe. So either way, we have to keep going. There was a Let's Go Lakers chant for a moment, and we go on. So 2-0, Grand Valley State trailing Florida Gulf Coast. And now here come the Lakers in the zone. A wrist shot goes over the bar, that taken by Ostrowski. Behind the net. Now the Lakers have to get their game going here, trailing Florida Gulf Coast by 2. Retreating in their own zone. Around with this is Garst. Scored the goal a moment ago. Take a look. Tries to head up and couldn't do so. Now coming ahead with his Dylan Dupre, number 16. Dupre dips the shoulder. Good job riding him out, Luzinski. Still Dupre around the net. Turnaround shot. Save made. Rebound loose on the side. Still in front. And finally, Grand Valley State comes away with this loose puck.
And one thing you're starting to see, which can be a problem, is Grand Valley is collapsing on that puck.
In front, save made, rebound loose, and outside of the net. Still behind, a one-timer, and the slot is stopped and held on to by Aberley.
And the defensive breakdown that you're starting to see is going to cost Grand Valley. And they've got to get back to basics and to pick up those defensive assignments. The thing with Florida Gulf is they are very explosive, and size-wise their guys are very small, but it makes them very quick and nimble, as we are going to have our media timeout right now.
We're going to have that media timeout. We want to thank you for watching the ACHA Division II National Championships here, live from Iceline in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We would like to thank GreatSkate.com, Sherwood, and Harrow Sports, the official apparel provider of the ACHA. We'd also like to thank the Westchester Visitors Bureau, Iceline Quadrinks, App Hammer, and our broadcast partner, Utah Hockey.
That we like to call Ute Vision.
Nice.
6:57 left to go in the first period. 2-0 if you are joining us. Florida Gulf Coast just plotting a second one on that extra man opportunity as Grand Valley, the only penalty that has been taken thus far in this game, and Florida Gulf made them pay for it.
So, face-off will be in the Lakers zone to the right of goaltender Yuri Aberley, who's had to face 14 shots already. I don't know. I'm not so sure if Aberley's accustomed to that kind of a.
Well, no, I don't think so, because if you were to multiply this out, now this is Florida Gulf Coast on pace for greater than 60 shots. So, I think I think defensively this is not what Grand Valley is accustomed to, and I think part of it stems from the fact that Florida Gulf Coast is putting so much pressure on them in their own defensive zone.
Sent down low, and Echeverry, the captain, number 10, spinning away, and then puck knocked off his stick. In the other extra, and Austin Koleski, number 17. His shot is just padded aside by Reed. And the rebound will come out for the Eagles. Center ice and a chip into the zone. And a line change on for Florida Gulf Coast. They got a 2-goal lead, 6:22 to go in the first here in Westchester. National semifinal number 1. Winner to the national championship tomorrow afternoon at noon. Right here on the affectionately called Ute Vision.
Lots of affection.
A ton of affection. Sent into the zone, and now the Eagles will collect. A little breakout up, and Florida Gulf Coast trying to get in the zone, but a good job of the stick work. However, the play is still onside, and Lakers clear out the center. Chipped into the zone by Troy Merritt, number 2. Chopped up by a couple of sticks. Going on in for the ride now is Tommy Carey, number 11. They tie up in the corner on the far side before the puck squirts free. Zach Goodrich has got it. He risks another one down low. Deflected there. Merritt, turnaround pass is blocked off to the point. Goodrich, his shot wide of the mark. Might have been going for a deflection. Rebound around the wall in the backhand by Grosvenor, number 5. And still sent down low. Behind the net, Claggett. Mitch Claggett's pass is cut off, and away goes Leon the other way. He'll dump it in from the blue line.
One thing I think you're going to have, and that you will see more from Grand Valley, is dumping it in. I know they like to carry the puck in, and they definitely have skaters that are adept to do that. This is NYU is a fantastic hockey club, reigning national champion, but Florida Gulf Coast probably a little bit speedier. And so let the puck do the work for you. Let's make America great again. Dump that puck in and just chase it hard. And they do good board work, and I think Grand Valley can get some offensive opportunities off of that.
Around the wall it goes. First one trying to get on to is Marlinski, and he couldn't do so. But still, the Eagles come out to center. And again, a chip in from center ice. And we've been seeing this a little bit in the last couple minutes. They're willing to dump in from center, as you were pointing out. Again, center ice. This one flipped high in the air.
And I think if you're a Florida Gulf fan, you have to be happy with their unselfish play of getting the neutral ice and just dumping her down and
Dupre around the net.
Letting it work for you.
Oh, well, stop everything as 2 Lakers collide into said cage and get a whistle with 4:19 to go in the first.
2-0. Rasty McGibbon, Brent Luthner here high in the Veterans of Foreign Wars Memorial Gondola in Rink 1 as we are at the Westchester Quad Rinks, a fantastic facility which has allowed us to sleep in a bit every morning and to get a on-time dinner. And this is the semifinal between Florida Gulf Coast and Grand Valley. If you're tuning in, Florida Gulf Coast 1 goal at even strength and 1 with the man advantage, and that is why they are up 2-0. And shots kind of tell the same tale, 15-10 in favor of Florida Gulf as well.
Yeah, this is going to be flipped into the zone, and the Eagles will retreat again. Florida Gulf has done a good job thus far defensively in their own end. And when Dave Kurtz had caught up to Bob Brinkworth before the game, he knew that was going to be the case. They had to play responsible defensively. That's a bouncing puck, and Florida Gulf will collect now behind their own net.
Yeah, and I mean, if you stretch
play.
this out, that's the 11th shot on goal, and they're on day 1. We were seeing at this time 18, 19, 20 shots as they're on pace for 60 or more. So, we talk about so much that hockey is a game of adaptation and tweaking and changes, and we know that the intermission is going to be an important one for Grand Valley. For Florida Gulf, they're doing a lot of things right.
A centering pass in front, a nice save by Aberley. The rebound loose to the near side wall. Back out to the point, collecting and setting down when it is Gudowitz. And the Eagles set up on the cycle to Mello. Then further down, a centering pass out in front. Good block out there. Another opportunity. Might have gotten a piece of it, did Aberley. And the Lakers do get it to center.
But they do a fantastic job, as you saw there, of cycling those three men in our near corner and able to generate. And it looks like Grand Valley's
going to the power play.
Grand Valley's going to the power play. And with 3:04, if you are a Grand Valley fan, this is the absolute time to get one and to climb back into this period, as you are getting pretty significantly outshot and definitely significantly outscored, as you got a big goose egg on the board. Face-off is going to come 180 feet down to the glove side of the goaltender Reed, and Grand Valley. Oh,
Grand Valley.
I thought Grand Valley was skating four skaters. I didn't know what was going on there.
Yeah,
As we see, number 16 has decided to join his teammates in the face-off circle.
Michael Bishop, who's second on the team in goals with 21 coming into this contest.
And there's another one of those odd bounces off the stanchion.
That little bounce off a back wall yesterday helped Liberty get to the semifinals in overtime against William Patterson. They'll take on Miami of Ohio in the second game here this afternoon. A centering pass out for a good block, though. Getting down on a knee, I think it was Garst number 3. A shot from the point. That's also blocked and back out to center. In this tournament, Grand Valley is 5 for 13 with the man advantage. Florida Gulf Coast killing off 6 of 8.
And again, one thing you're going to see, we talked about differences. Grand Valley, 1 or 2 passes, and then they're really ready to snap that shot.
And they snap one home right there. Power play goal, Colin Finkhouse. And he's cut the lead at half, 2-1.
And it only took them 45 seconds to get one in. And that really sends a message to both teams, and that stay out of the box. Keep this a 5-on-5 game. And I tell you, so far in what we've seen in the 18 minutes of this period, 5-on-5 thus far really seems to favor Florida Gulf, as they have found a way to defensively neutralize Grand Valley, and holding them so far at only 11 shots, 5-on-5. But Grand Valley has answered, and that is going to be a huge injection of momentum for that bench that is straight across from our broadcast booth here.
Exactly. 1-1 now the score as Finkhouse adds the power play goal, and the Laker fans are in full throat right now. Coming out with this one is Luzinski. Sends into the zone. And now everybody down in the corner. Still they tumble along before finally the puck pops free.
And, you know, that was really just an instance of where you see them willing just to shoot that puck.
That shot up and out of play, getting a stoppage with a minute 44 to go in the first period. Chamello, even strength. Garst on the power play for Florida Gulf Coast. Colin Finkhouse, the lone one for Grand Valley.
We would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the academic All-Americans from Florida Gulf Coast, Michael Chamello, Jack Emmer, and Tyler Tracy. Well done, boys.
We'll get you the Grand Valley State academic All-Americans in a moment. In the meantime, this comes around, and there were 138 in this of these players this weekend. These are juniors and seniors with grade point averages of 3.2 or higher. And you had 138 athletes this weekend that are the academic All-Americans. Spin around, heading the other way with this one is Koleski. A drop pass for a wrister by Cameron D-Day, number 7. That's wide of the net. D-Day's got it again, though. Centering pass out in front. It's cut off. And now here comes the Eagles. Only for a moment. They pass in legs. Gets dumped right back in as we're inside a minute.
You might say there's 138 academians that decide to play hockey as a hobby.
You very well could, you know. Sometimes they say hockey is life. The rest is just details. Not the case.
I think that's a bumper sticker.
It is. Yeah. It's a bumper sticker, a T-shirt, and quite possibly a wall plastering if anything else goes on here.
That's right.
Sent down low behind the net. With it now for Grand Valley is Zach Strain, number 22.
One thing that you're seeing by the defenders of Florida Gulf Coast, they are holding that red line as the puck is trying to come out, and they are very willing and definitely able to just snap that puck back in. And really, you know, as we see now, Grand Valley having trouble on the breakout.
Well, they're breaking out here with 8 seconds to go in the period. A little chop forward. And loose in the neutral zone, and that should wrap it up. And Rasty will have a chance to list off the Grand Valley All-Americans.
For Grand Valley State, Christian Bielek, Nate Dykstra, Austin Jacobs, Blaine Marney, Zach Nash, and Eric White. The academic All-Americans for Grand Valley State. And as I said, well done, boys.
Yeah, well done, and congratulations to all those academic All-Americans. And as we head to break, before we get there and then throw it up, here is Dave Kurtz. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, I'm here with the head coach of Grand Valley, Mike. Early start there, having a little trouble against some of the speed in the zone with FGCU, especially 5-on-5. What are some changes that you'd like to see your guys make in the second period?
Well, we like to start on time. That's always a good idea. You know, the game starts at 12 o'clock. We didn't get going until about 12:45, but that's the first thing is we have to start competing, and we're really hesitant. I think the stage is a bit much. We've got a young team. We've got 8 freshmen on this team, and I think the stage is a little overwhelming. Hopefully got the first period jitters out of the way.
All right, so especially late on, you guys are starting to play a lot better. That power play helped a lot. You're getting a lot of shots on Reed. There's some rebounds. How important is that for you guys to try to get some guys in front of the net for those things?
I think we've got to get guys within proximity to the net, and we really haven't in the first period. I think both goaltenders fought the puck in the first, and Florida did a better job of filling the front of the net and getting people in the scoring zone, and we didn't. That's something we're going to have to address.
All right, well, good luck in the second period.
I think we'll need it. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. All right, guys, we'll send it up for our intermission show with Andrew Shapiro and Sean Brethwick. Take it away, boys.
Thanks a lot, Dave. So, Sean, one period in the books. It's a 2-1 lead for the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles, and shots on goal are 17-13 in their favor. So, what stood out to you in that first period?
I think it's really the amount of control that Florida Gulf Coast had against the Grand Valley State Lakers. Seeing Grand Valley, yesterday against NYU, they were really able to dominate the puck and puck possession. Florida Gulf Coast has been really able to take it to him and put some really good shots on Jerry Aberle. And being as athletic as he is and agile as he is, these guys have put some good shots on him. Mike Chimello and Logan Garst both getting the goals, of course, for Florida Gulf Coast. And they get in the big power play goal. The Lakers getting, that's put them back into this one for sure. Where maybe early on it looked like that, maybe Florida Gulf Coast might be trying to run away a little bit with it.
Absolutely. Gulf Coast did put the shots on them early and often, and they did strike first blood, scoring only 7-12 into the game. Mike Chimello, as you mentioned, getting the goal. And it's kind of strange for Grand Valley to be playing from behind. They have never trailed in this tournament. Yesterday they had a tough game against NYU after playing 2 really wide-open games against Penn State and Utah State. And you mentioned Yuri Aberle. He allows 2 goals in the period after allowing 7 during the first, or sorry, not 5, excuse me, after allowing 5 goals during the first, 4, after allowing 4 goals during the first 2 games that he played. The other goalie, Jared Maddock, playing 1 game and allowing 2 goals. So Bob Brinkworth mentioned in the in the pregame show that this was going to be a low-scoring game. Doesn't look like that after the first period, does it?
No, not at all. I mean, everybody. It's kind of funny. You try to predict what kind of game it's going to be. I mean, you think about it like this: 8 times out of 10, it's usually the exact opposite, or it's some type of weird statistic like that. You're seeing both teams being able to control the puck, especially Florida Gulf Coast, really being able to take it to the Lakers for the better part of that first period there. Both teams being able to score on the power plays that they were given. There was some updated statistics as far as their percentages and everything of the sort on that one. But it's just kind of those weird things. You can't really predict how a game is going to be. When both teams want to be and play their game, which is being aggressive and really trying to control the puck as best you can. Goals are going to be scored in that kind of a game when you play that way.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, both teams able to click on the power play. Grand Valley scoring their lone goal on their lone opportunity, so that might be a factor coming in to the rest of the game. Whereas Florida Gulf Coast going 1 for 2 with the man advantage in the first period. So, Sean, who was a player that you were keeping an eye on during the game that maybe did or didn't perform up to the level that maybe you thought that he had a shot at?
I'll be honest with you, and again, he only faced 13 shots, but you and I both saw it. Mike Reed the goaltender for Florida Gulf Coast, you could see when he got the shots on goal, you saw some really juicy rebounds coming off of his pads. I want to see a little bit better rebound control from him. Because right now, if Grand Valley State is seeing that, they're going to be trying to make sure that they're going to get more guys to cut to the net and crash that net, looking for those rebounds. And if Mike Reed or the defense of Florida Gulf Coast can't adjust to that, Grand Valley is going to get back into this game, and not only get back into this game, but take the lead and even take off with this one.
Absolutely. And a couple of guys for Grand Valley that I want to see step up. We're looking at Corbin Rainey and Michael Bishop. Both of them tied for the team leading goals in the tournament with 3 apiece. Another guy that I want to see step up a little bit more is Reed Burnett, who had the overtime winner yesterday against NYU. And unfortunately, the only way he got his name on the score sheet was with a penalty that Florida Gulf Coast wound up capitalizing on.
Absolutely. Listen, Reed Burnett, when he scores his goals, he's only got 9 of them, but 5 of them have been game-winning goals. One way or another, we know that Grand Valley State has scored a ton of them against Utah State and Penn State, and we know that Reed Burnett, I believe, was scored against Utah State, I believe, in that 7-1 route that they had, if I remember the score correctly. But yeah, again, he had an assist in this one as well, on the power play for Grand Valley State. So yeah, I do expect to see more from him as well. But he always seems to come through in the clutch, and we have another 40 minutes to go before he's able to have to bring that clutch gene in and perhaps get this team the lead and maybe even get the game-winning goal again.
Absolutely. So now let's take a minute and go inside the locker rooms here. If you're Bob Brinkworth, what are you saying to your team up by 1?
I think it's just you got to keep doing what you're doing. Continue to control the puck and just keep riding with the momentum that they've been having. That's it.
All right, now on the other side, Mike Forbes. His team down by 1, but they got the late goal to get themselves back to within a 1-goal game as opposed to having a 2-goal deficit going into the locker room. What does Forbes say to his team?
Keep pressuring him. They were able to get the power play goal there. They got to gain some confidence off that. They know that they can score on this team, and that's the bottom line. Just keep going, keep pressuring them more, fight a little harder for the puck, and you'll get some more goals up on the board.
All right, so if you are just joining us, this is Game 1 of the national semifinals. Today we have the first semifinal between the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles and the Grand Valley State Lakers. A quick scoring summary for you. Mike Chimello striking first for the Lakers at 7:12 of the first period. Logan Garst adding a power play tally to put the Eagles up by 2 before Colin Finkhouse gets a power play tally of his own at 17:43 to put this at a 1-goal deficit for the Lakers. It's a 2-1 lead for the Gulf Coast Eagles after the first period. So Sean, we've talked about what the coaches are going to say. We talked about what the teams need to do. What is one thing that you, watching this game, are looking for in the second period for either team?
Well, just right out the gate, I said it before. For Grand Valley State, I'm expecting to see more aggressive to the net. I feel like they're going to get more bodies to the net and get those rebounds, and that's the bottom line.
All right. And what about for the Eagles?
Just keep doing what they're doing, and that's it. They're up 2-1. No need to change anything.
All right. So we are going to take a short break. When we come back, it'll be Brett and Rasty on the call of the second period. You're watching the 2016 ACHA Division II National Championships. Welcome back to the Iceline Quad Rinks. Rink 1 here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. First semifinal of the day between the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles and the Grand Valley State Lakers. Grand Valley taking the ice in their white jerseys to our left. It's camera right, excuse me, and Florida Gulf Coast soon to be joining them on the ice in the black jerseys to camera left. 2-1 the score after the first period in favor of the Eagles. And for those just joining us, a power play goal by Colin Finkhouse cut the deficit for Grand Valley to 2-1. This after Mike Chimello and Logan Garst each scored for the Eagles to make that a 2-0 affair. It's been a good game back and forth so far. And Sean, what is something now that the teams have taken the ice? I know we talked about it in the intermission, but what is something else that maybe a factor that may not have been discussed as much?
I think it's, as crazy as it may seem, maybe one thing we haven't discussed is guys, that for Florida Gulf Coast, we haven't seen too much of, Dylan Dupree and even Dan Echeverry. We've seen him out on the ice, but as far as being accounted for on the score sheet, haven't really seen it too much. Haven't seen too much of it yet. But again, like I said before we went to break, there's still 40 minutes of this game left to go before for them to appear on the score sheet and be a factor in this game. And there's not a question in my mind when you have 110 points like Dupree and 107 like Dan Echeverry does. There's no question that they're going to show up at some point in a factor, whether it's on the score sheet or not. You're going to see it here within the next 40 minutes of the show, I'm sure.
Absolutely. This is a very high-octane offense, and so we'll get ready for the second period. On the call, Brett Luthner and Rasty McGibbon. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Rasty, what are you looking for here in a second?
Well, I think what I'm looking for is very much the same by Florida Gulf Coast, and I think I'm really looking for Grand Valley to wake up and play the way that they've played through so many games this tournament.
Second period underway. No carryover power play time or any penalty time for either side. 17-13 were the shots in favor of the black and blue clad Eagles that are going from right to left over the white, black, and blue clad Lakers that are going from left to right here in the second period.
When you say clad, I think of a single family house in Piscataway.
In Piscataway, there you go. Well, if there's some pandemonium, we'll find out at some point. Sean Brederick, if he's listening to the cast on the other side, is probably chuckling. Save made in front. Nice job by Reed. And he holds on as jabbing away at it was Tommy Carney, number 11.
And we have already seen an adjustment with 44 seconds into this period. Grand Valley there shooting from high. They have a man right on the doorstep that is there ready to gobble up those juicy rebounds that we have seen off those springy leg pads of the goaltender for Florida Gulf Coast, Reed. And we will see if that's a factor. And I think of any team here, Mike Forbes has the ability to adjust what his team does.
Shot, that's knocked aside. A rebound, Lucas in the corner. A stuff attempt, hits the side of the net, though. And now, trying to step out Echeverry, he does. And Echeverry gets a rough ride on the near side wall as he gained the zone. And the Eagles will send it around the wall, but not out. The blast for the point is blocked down. It's still a turnaround shot by Hauser goes wide.
Rebound. And an adjustment you're seeing by Florida Gulf is they seem to have a bit more of a green light in terms of shooting that puck.
As if they needed one.
Well, that is very true as well.
Both sides like to pump a lot of shots on goal. Meantime, Echeverry trying to skate forward. Echeverry, a couple seasons ago, had a 100-point season for Florida Gulf Coast. It speaks to how well he can score. He's
and the native of Columbia.
Yes. He's ratcheted up the assist total since then. That shot, just getting a piece of it, was Aberley as it goes over the net. This tournament not relegated to just those in the United States and Canada. And on side of the Lakers, trying to get a shot. A sharp angle shot is not reaching it initially. It was Anthony Russo. And now a puck on behind the net. Gathered and turned around by Gudowitz. The far side wall, a little bit of a collision there. Turnover, Lakers control. Shot save made by Reed through a screen. Might have been tipped out in front by Finkhouse, who's got a goal already. This one chipped up the wall but not out. Zach Goodrich's shot is wide. Rebound collected, trying to step through. Finkhouse couldn't do so. Puck turned over and does get out to the neutral zone.
but you're starting to see Grand Valley now with putting pressure on Florida Gulf on the breakout, and that has really made a huge difference in the first 2.5 minutes of this first period, something you have not seen much by Grand Valley.
Trying to step around was Bailey, couldn't do so. A couple players whack away at the puck, and it ends up going down into the Eagles zone.
And this is the dump and chase that I talked about that was going to be important for Grand Valley. For Florida Gulf, you see them now having a bit of the trouble clearing the zone, that the same way that Grand Valley was in the first period. And the tables have changed a little bit. The only difference is Grand Valley not afraid to shoot that puck at all.
No.
And now they're very happy dumping the puck in, getting some fresh skaters out, and sending a guy in forechecking hard and fast, closing up those passing lanes for Florida Gulf Coast.
Now the Lakers come back in a 3-on-2. A step-through shot and a save made. Good job there by Claggett to step around the hockey version of a Euro step, but then the equal good save by Reed.
Fantastic job by Reed as we see him now out on that white ice outside of the crease, as he is going to make some quick equipment repairs on the fly here and get that Velcro hook back in. And he's putting on that large catching mat, and then will reach down for his blocker and stick. And with 16:33, the score is still 2-1 in favor of Florida Gulf Coast. So one thing I will draw your attention to is now there's only a deficit of 1 in the shot category. That Grand Valley has done an excellent job of closing the gap here early in the second.
They actually now have the advantage. They have a 5-0 shots advantage here thus far, second period, as the shots after 1 were 17-13 in favor of the Eagles. Centering pass out in front, not able to get a stick on it, was the number 2, Troy Merritt. Now, Grand Valley still in possession. Spinning around is Birchler, but he turns it over. Hard skate the other way for Jordan Klotz. He's in the zone. Klotz steps around, centering pass out in front, bounces to the point, collecting it there and sending it around is Marlinski. Oh, shot knocked down by Aberley. The rebound is loose. And the native of the Czech Republic in net for Grand Valley watches this one get sent up and out to center. A bouncing puck now, 2-on-1 for the Lakers. Moving in, shooting, save made by Reed, and he holds his ground before he gets pushed into the net. Troy Merritt taking the shot, and then a big pile up afterwards.
And it appears that there may be a penalty here. I'm not sure. Is the referee right in good vision there? And Florida Gulf actually punching the Grand Valley State player right in the face. And I think a little bit of theatrics there as number 2 from Grand Valley fell down on the side of the net. And I'll tell you one thing, as we saw in that first period, you do not want to give Grand Valley that man advantage. And cooler heads have prevailed, and we're going to skate 5-on-5 here with 15:37 left to go in the second period.
No penalties called on that one. It is off the face-off. A backhand shot goes wide. Echeverry's now got the puck, and the Eagles captain sends out to center. He's got it back again, tries to feed a pass forward. Initially gets onto the stick, and then kicking it forward is Chimello. Mike Chimello, who opened the scoring here in this contest, semifinal number 1 here in the ACHA Division II National Championships. And they'll skate forward again. Echeverry with some speed. But Grand Valley sending 2 guys to pay attention to the dangerous captain. Puck behind the net. Now the Lakers will just settle things down behind Aberley's cage. We'll pass on up ahead. Nice wall pass, and in the zone is Rainey. His shot knocked aside. Rainey again. He's going to put this one up and into the netting and get a stoppage. 5-11 into this second period.
And really, Grand Valley State is hitting on all cylinders in this first 5 minutes, as you actually see one of the players from Florida Gulf over talking to goaltender Reed, and them working out the details of something, as the face-off is going to come to the glove side, and Reed way out on the right ice, about 7 feet from his goal, making sure that there is no net visible behind him to any of the Grand Valley State players.
Given his stance, the one thing that I would say might be a little dangerous with that is if it's a rocket off that face-off, it might catch him 5-hole.
And I would agree.
Now it's a 2-on-1 for Grand Valley. Centering pass. Nice back-checking by a couple of Eagles, and this one gets sent out to center.
And I'll tell you something, if you're a Florida Gulf Coast fan, you cannot give Grand Valley too many 2-on-1 opportunities before they're going to burn you.
Oh, out in front. Ramp attempt goes across the crease and stays out. The ramp attempt That looked like it was Arnone, but it didn't go in as Aberle manages to pounce on it.
And he was caught on his blocker side post and diving back into the crease area, was able to get an outstretched arm and keep this game within one, as Florida Gulf with their really best scoring opportunity thus far in the second period.
And that was one thing that Coach Forbes had said. It might get interesting with Aberle. He is an adventurous goalie, and you just saw it there.
He definitely took an adventure there.
Sometimes.
Maybe even got his passport stamped.
It's quite possible. Another country checked off the list because he did wander a bit there.
And which country would that be?
Yeah, he's a Czech Republic native, so I'm sure he's got a few.
I think he just went to Iceland.
It's all the way down Friday. We're just having chuckles up here right now.
13:42 left to go in the second period. If you are joining us, this is the first semifinal of two today. This is Grand Valley State as well as Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast scoring 2 in the first period. Grand Valley scoring late in the first on that extra man opportunity. And it has really been a lot of Grand Valley so far this period. And Florida Gulf really just with a very recent good scoring opportunity.
And I'm loving the Laker fans getting the chant going on the stoppages here, too.
You got to do something to stay warm up here, bro.
This is very true. It is a cold rink here, rink 1. Unless it's really packed.
And you snuggle up.
Get the blankets out, folks. In the meantime, no need for blankets for the players on the ice. This one neutral zone. And now the Lakers come ahead 3-on-3. There's some back-checking help. Still, a centering pass gets through and collected by Claggett in the corner. He loses an edge right in front of the referee. Still gets a pass off and a save made by Reed. Good hard shot there taken by Merritt. All the way down. Chasing it back is Burnett. Reed Burnett with it now. He's tied up along the walls by Mike Cimello.
One thing you're going to have to see by Grand Valley is when that first player gets in and ties along the boards, that second guy, the supportive guy, is going to have to get in there quick because Florida Gulf Coast definitely willing to send their man in.
Set up for a rising shot that gets glassed into the netting.
Interestingly enough, Florida Gulf likes to take, I think what I'd have to say is a little bit of a lower percentage shot from the sideboards. They really seem to like to center it from the sideboards. And it's interesting because the net there geometrically is smaller, and also it is easier for the goaltender to deflect into the far corner, which is one of the safest places for the puck to be if you're the goaltender.
Is it also a case, though, Rasty, of possible, we'll get to that question in a second, as this one's out to the center, and the same played with a high stick, not sure, but we'll go with the officials on this one. Gives me a chance to ask the question, Rasty, is that the case of maybe you want to catch the goaltender either napping or having a bad angle or bad footwork in the net?
Well, sometimes it is really it's none of those, and it's none of what I mentioned. It's just personal preference, and their hired gun may be the wingman or the center, and he likes to play it, and the defensemen feel more comfortable giving it to him as opposed to trying to take it. Florida is not a team that you're going to see a lot of shots from the point. Even on that power play man advantage, they are not a team that takes a lot of shots from the point. They try from that offside wing, whereas you take Grand Valley, I think they would pump it back to the point and have those guys shoot it all day and all night.
This one sent around the wall, but not out of the zone, as now the Eagles set up. A little more than 8 minutes gone by here in the second. 2-1 the score. A shot goes wide. Rebound around the wall, Luzinski. They still tie up in the corner, and finally the puck comes away and out the center through Strain.
We're seeing a little bit of momentum shift as now Florida Gulf getting more time down this Grand Valley than they had in any part of this second period.
Ostrowski with a good hit there to separate man from puck, and now the Lakers come ahead. A wrist shot right into the logo, Little taking it, and Reed gobbling it.
And Reed is when I had the opportunity to call a game with my brother yesterday, referred to Reed as one of those smaller guys. Goaltenders in the last 10 years have gotten much bigger, but Reed, a little guy more, kind of reminds you of Ronnie Tugnut, very mobile, and his when he bends down to that crouch position, his chin is almost touching the top of his leg pads.
Ron Tugnut, he of the 70 save performance against the Boston Bruins. I believe that was back in 1991. And some interesting stories about that game, as Quebec and Boston had tied 3-3 right after a brief players' strike that went on at that time. This one sent down low, still knocked around. And
Ronnie Tugnut, I believe, was working at the Canadian Tire in Canada during that strike.
yeah. Some players were working other jobs. Some players were just enjoying the time off, as we were.
I know official Bill McCreary is working at a furniture store just down near Acton, Ontario.
And it flipped in right on goal. Reed's just going to glove it down. Randy Velshek, when I talked to him about that game, had said that pretty much nobody on Quebec was ready to play. As this one is Echeverry in the zone. He loses an edge, and that's because he was taken out by the skates. According to the officials, off to the box goes Reed Burnett. Power play number 2 coming for the Eagles.
And I'll tell you, really with the momentum that Florida Gulf Coast has been building here over the last 4 or 5 minutes of clock time, now is not the time that you want to give them a power play, because they have really responded to the intensity that Grand Valley came out of the locker room with, and really Grand Valley was on fire in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second period, but Florida Gulf has calmed them down, and now with an extra man opportunity, they are poised to make this an exciting 2 minutes or less.
Well, power play on for the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. They're 1 for 1 with the man advantage here this afternoon. Logan Garst, the one that scored that goal. He's not out there right now. Yes, he is out there. He's on the right point, but he won't get to that puck just yet as it's flipped out the center and all the way down. Reed will set it up for Garst. He's at the points with Rob Marlinski, number 6. The forwards, Mark Arnaud, number 11, to go along with Colton Bailey, number 18. And then the man skating the puck up right now is number 17, Mike Cimello. He's got the other goal, that being an even strength tally for the Eagles. Out in front, a shot save made and held on to by Aberley.
And that even strength tally is probably the one that Grand Valley wishes they could have back, as they beat him from about 30 feet at the top of the face-off circle, coming in on this near wing and beating him 5-hole and almost seeming to tie him up a little bit, and unable to stop that one from going through the legs and making that a 1-0 game midway through the first period.
At the point, this will be sent down low, and the Eagles will set up in the zone. Left point for a one-timer by Dupre that goes wide. Eagles will set it up again. And now they're starting to move off the puck. High slot shot, or top of the circle shot, I should say, goes wide. And still in the zone. With it, turning around Hauser. His shot deflected into the corner.
Off his own player.
Sometimes friendly, it is friendly fire that tags you. Nice read of the cross-ice pass, but the puck will stay in the Eagles' possession. Echeverry sends it down low for Klotz. Up high for Dupre. We'll send it down low and around. And Hauser couldn't control, but the Eagles still have it. A one-timer up high, blocked into the corner. Sprawling on that one was Tommy Carey, who then gets this puck and sends it all the way down.
And this is going to give Grand Valley a couple banged-up bodies there, as they've sacrificed their body to block that huge telegraphed blast from the point.
And this is taken over and flipped up and out. Now a shorthanded opportunity. Moving in, trying to split the D, and going through is Rainey. The crowd wanted a call, but not for sale.
Just to our left, the head of off-ice officials has asked for that to be reviewed. The head of amateur officials, pardon me.
Center ice and a dump in. And now the Eagles set it up again. Power play is over. Florida Gulf Coast 1 for 2 with the man advantage.
And as we get back to neutral ice, I will make a couple comments about that power play opportunity.
Not quite there yet. Eventually doesn't get out. Good keep here, Dupre. Dips the shoulder, goes around the net. Wants to try to center one, couldn't do so. Rough ride in the corner. Lakers trying to defend here to a Let's Go Lakers chant from the faithful. Now this gets out the center, and a breakout opportunity the other way, and a penalty call coming up against Florida Gulf Coast, as heading to the box will be Mike Gudowitz. slashing the call. Power play for Grand Valley State.
One thing in the first 45 seconds at Florida Gulf Coast, they were only able to muster one shot. And like we've talked about, a lot of passing. I think one thing, and now you're going to be able to compare and contrast to what we're going to see from Grand Valley. Really, Florida Gulf only getting 2 shots that hit the net during that. And, you know, when you telegraph the huge windup and the shot, and you know it's going to come from that point, it is very easy to defend against, and Grand Valley able to get bodies down. And this time at 7:40 left in the second period, we are going to go to the media timeout.
You are watching the ACHA Division II National Championship live from Iceline in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We would like to thank Gong Show Hockey, Warrior, and Howie's Hockey Tape, the official tape provider of the ACHA.
We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Westchester Visitors Bureau, Iceline Quad Rinks, App Hammer, and our broadcast partner, Utah Hockey in Ute Vision. Really, and you may wonder at home, why are we thanking Utah Hockey? Last year, when the national championships were in Salt Lake, from a broadcast perspective, it was kind of a pioneering opportunity for us, and we were able to live stream onto YouTube. And that provided a couple things. First of all, for you folks at home that are unable to make the drive to Westchester, you were able to watch those games online for free. And the other benefit is that they are archived. So you can go back and show your wife 80 pounds from now that, hey, that was me, and I was an athlete at one time.
Cross-ice pass or shot, a wrister. Having to gather, though, before he got that shot off was Claggett.
But see, that was 15 seconds in. They're already shooting.
And that did allow, though, Reed to get the save. Cross-ice pass deflected around. Now with it is Merritt. Trey Merritt gives on off Finkhouse. Tries to step around one. His stick tied up, though, in Echeverry's legs, and it goes all the way down.
And Florida Gulf is going to change 2 on that puck going down. Not quite the pressure that we have seen from Florida Gulf Coast in earlier times.
This one, neutral zone, and again slugged all the way down. These two teams met once this season. It was back on October 10th at the Lindenwood Showcase. Grand Valley won that game 3-2 in a game that only had a grand total of 56 shots. We're nearing that mark now. We're at 44 combined here. A shot goes wide. Rebound on the far side, kept in by Merritt. Sent around the net. One of the Lakers was sprawled out and puts a hip in, but the puck comes out the center. Shorthanded opportunity for the Eagles, 2-on-1. A pass behind, though. Dupre couldn't collect. Still steps through with it. Tries to send down low for Klotz. That's broken up. And now Grand Valley State comes out the other way. In the zone is Rainey. Corbin Rainey with a shot right into the Eagles logo on Mike Reed. And once that whistle is blown, off come the gloves and another pad adjustment for the netminder with sunglasses on his mask.
And really, you know, that is not a bad play for Grand Valley, as they were out on a bit of a long shift and were able to change one body on that rush up the ice. And it also appears that they may be doing, I don't know if they were doing some net repairs. The referee and linesmen are over down. It appears that there may be a hole in the net on that far side. They are going to be doing some on-ice repairs, doing a little bunch and tie job over there. And as you said, Reed making some adjustments to that knee pad on his left leg pad. And those guys are working to close up any holes. The referee inside the net, and the linesman outside. But one thing, you know, Grand Valley here with 20 seconds left, and I was going to say, not a bad play by Grand Valley just to waste one right on net, and with bodies coming, have him freeze the puck, and that will allow you really to get set up in the zone, and that 20 seconds really makes more for you when you don't have to set it up. If you win the face-off back, basically within 2 or 3 seconds, you got your power play set up. And so that is one thing that they are working on. Again, still repairs being made to the net. We have now a third official that has come in in more of a supervisory role to help with net repairs.
It's always good to have the supervisor on hand. While we have a few extra seconds, don't forget, intermission report. The boys across the way, Andrew Shapiro, Sean Bretherick will give you their insights as the second period That's the second period intermission report. This one bounces on the top of the net. It's slugged up and not out of the zone. Still 12 to go on the power play. However, this one not able to keep it in was Lucas Little, and it goes all the way down. And now a foot race going on to it is Chamello. He gets there first but can't control the puck. That'll kill off the rest of the power play, though, and now Grand Valley's 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Onside play here, Little throws one right into the catching glove of Mike Reed, and he holds on with 5:31 to go in the second. And as we were saying, Andrew Shapiro and Sean Bretherick will have the second period intermission report across the way. And right above that nice little scores table there, it'll give you their thoughts about how period number 2 went and look ahead to period number 3. That's right after the interview on ice here at Ice Line. National semifinal game number 1. It's 2-1 Florida Gulf Coast. Now moving into the zone. A little drop pass, trying to get it onto the stick. That looks like it's Nathan Pellegrin, number 19, tied up behind the net. And now trying to skate away with this one is Von Birchler, number 18. Puck kicked around a little bit, not out of his zone twice, but a third time does get it to the neutral zone. Couple players just...
If you're a Grand Valley State fan, one thing that they need to buy back into, you saw early in this period, is just get it up across center and dump her down and let the puck do the work for you. For Florida Gulf, I think they're doing a lot in terms of responding to that aggression that we saw by Grand Valley early on, and they took a lot of momentum, and unfortunately...
Well, there was calls for a bear hug, and none were given. In the meantime, coming the other way, Klotz, before he's just going to chip it up into the zone. Jordan Klotz, we've not called his name much today, and he had 45 goals in the regular season. In the zone with this one is D-Day. He turns around, tried to send one out in front. That's cut off. He still sends a pass down low for a backhand shot. Save made by Reed. It's loose, still loose, and the net comes off but never crosses the line.
Fantastic positioning by the officials. I know we've heard a lot of criticism of officials this tournament, but you could not ask for more fantastic positioning. As the official just behind the netting, he had a 20/20 view of what was going on there, and when he lost sight or the puck was covered up by the goaltender Reed, he was quick to blow it down. The face-off is going to come inside the zone on the blocker side here with 4:12 left to go in the second period. 2-1, the score, Florida Gulf Coast over Grand Valley State.
This one to the right of Reed, won by the Lakers. The step through, a backhand shot, deflected, rebound, score! On the doorstep, Anthony Russo. This game is tied at 2.
And you know, that amount of sustained pressure is only a matter of time. As I've said, Grand Valley, a team that has no fear at all to shoot the puck. And we talked to Mike Forbes 2 days ago, and one of the questions I asked them, I said, do your guys essentially have a green light at any time to shoot the puck? And he says, you know what, I'm really disappointed if we're not averaging 50 shots a game. I don't know if they're going to quite make that this game as they've run into a tough Florida Gulf team, but it is 2-2 with 4:02. And now Grand Valley with 2 goals and 2 unanswered goals by that are against Florida Gulf.
And now into the zone. So Russo getting the goal, his 9th of the season. And that was regular season and tournament. Has tied this thing at 2. Did we tell you this was going to be a pretty good game?
I'm going to let you tell me again.
Skating into the zone, a wrist shot, and Reed is equal to a good job by Reed to bunch himself up to not allow any holes there on the Luzinski shot.
And that was fantastic positioning by Reed as he played a little bit of old school stand-up there on his stick side as he really covered that post up. And the puck just hitting him right around the waistline and dropping in behind the pad for safekeeping.
Off the tie-up, Lakers have it. Trying to set up a centering pass in front. A couple players go barreling over Reed. This one will come out to center through the efforts of the alternate captain, Jordan Klotz.
And this is what you're starting to see now is Grand Valley has been most effective when they use that red line as almost like the Great Wall, and they catch it and dump it right back in the Florida Gulf zone.
Now here come the Lakers out, trying to clear the zone, though. Klotz is able to keep in with some help from friends, and now sent down low. Behind the net will go Von Birchler. Puck around and then flung all the way out of the zone. This should be an icing, and in fact will be, with 2:50 to go in the second. Just to recap for you, Mike Cimello opened the scoring. Logan Garst on the power play made it 2-0 Florida Gulf Coast, but then Colin Finkhouse on the power play, and just recently Anthony Russo has tied this one up at 2 as we had 2:50 to go in the second.
Florida Gulf with 5 fresh bodies out for 2:50 in the second here. Face-off coming in the Grand Valley zone. And Grand Valley doing an excellent job, and the official there taking a seat as he tripped over the face-off dot.
In the zone with this, Arnone drops a pass off for a shot that gets blocked off into the corner. Leon tries to step around and sends it behind the net. Puck works its way to the far side wall and out to center. Good stand-up hit there. And it looks like it was Stephen Noyes, number 26. I'm not positive about that one. Sent around.
And it's not really been a very physical game, I think, in terms of the landscape of what we've seen in terms of games here. And I think, both teams really focused on the task at hand.
Trying to step through Dine. Almost does, and then he's going to get a penalty call. Dine going to the box for goaltender interference. I believe that's the way it's looking. And so with 2:07 to go.
If you are a Florida Gulf fan, this is the time.
Power play number 3 for the Eagles, and Bob Brinksworth's crew is 1 for 2.
You can hear the Amateur Officials Union, Local 307, down to our left, that is voicing their displeasure of that call.
And I think
as Reed was bowled over.
I think Local 419 of said union is also a little further down. Off the draw, the Eagles control. Back out up high, a Let's Go Lakers chant again going from the Grand Valley State fans that have made the trek here to Westchester, Pennsylvania. Stuff attempt out in front. Still plenty of time on this power play here in a 2-2 game. That one gets slung up and out of play, and we get a stoppage with 1:44 to go in the period.
And already 23 seconds have elapsed in this power play opportunity for Florida Gulf Coast. And no shots, as a lot of that time spent behind the goal line and behind the net.
Shots?
And unless you're Wayne Gretzky, that is not the optimum pace to be.
Oh, Mike Forbes would know a thing or two about that, gentlemen. In the meantime, this one gets sent out of the zone. Shots on goal in this period, as of now, 19-6 in favor of Grand Valley State.
And that is, Mike Forbes talk about getting his guys to show up and to wake up. And I talked to Dave Kurtz off the ice there just about what his reference was about starting late, and he meant his guys started late.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that...
the proverbial, and he said it, the game starts at noon, we get going at 1:45. That's the proverbial game started at 7:05, we got going at 7:45. Same thing, just changed the times there.
Better than 8:45, boy.
Although we both did look at the watch and say, wait a second, we haven't gotten there yet. This sent all the way down, but the inference was understood.
And Grand Valley really trying to change guys on that one, but and they're going to at least get 1, 2, 3 changed thus far. As a nice little dump down into the quarter was able to get those guys desperately trying to get off as they've been on for about a minute. Excellent second effort there. They are going to get an offsides, but excellent second effort by Grand Valley as on his back, able to do the old twisteroo and send her in deep. And we're going to have a face-off with 35 seconds, 42 left to go in this period on the game clock. And 32-23 shots on goal in favor of Grand Valley.
As we said, 19-6 in this period as Florida Gulf had a 17-13 advantage through the first 20 minutes. The Eagles will set it up behind their own net. They got 25 in this power play, and now 30 to go in the period. The skate ahead by Klotz. He's in the zone, dips, and then spins around. Back to the point it goes. Marlinski across for Garst. Marlinski again. His shot knocked aside through a screen by Aberle. 13 to go in the period. Puck behind the net will be wrapped around the wall, but not out of the zone. Marlinski's got it again. Goes across to Garst. Garst shot, save made, rebound, score! Just when the power play expired on the doorstep, and the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles have a 3-2 lead.
And, that's what we talked about, and we've been talking about it through the first 40 minutes of this game. Florida Gulf Coast a little tentative on shooting the puck, especially on the power play. And that time you did see the actual shot not coming from their normal right point, and it was able to make it through. And a rebound there was gobbled up, and it is 3-2. And if you're Florida Gulf, for a period that Grand Valley has really kind of owned, and scored 2 unanswered goals, Florida Gulf has now answered with only 4.1 left to go in this period, and really it is just going to be all played in that center ice circle as the clock expires.
It's going to be an interesting third period. It was tied at 2 right up until his final seconds, but Mark Arnaud bangs home the rebound, his 16th of the season. And after 40 minutes, the margin is the same as it was after 20. Florida Gulf Coast leads by 1.
And really one thing is David Kurtz there is setting up to speak with Bobby Brinkworth. Grand Valley needs to, actually both teams need to stay out of the box, but Grand Valley, especially goaltender, speaking with the officials now. We now send it down to David Kurtz.
All right, I'm here with head coach of FGCU, Bob Brinkworth, and Bob picked up that late one there, kind of get the lead back, but kind of evened out there in the second period. What are some adjustments that you want to make in the third?
Well, I thought they had more energy in this period. Grand Valley did, and they had the better of the play. Scoring a goal in the last 4 seconds of the period usually helps in the locker room and coming out for the third period. We will try and bring the energy we had in the first period, but they're a very good hockey team. They move the puck well, and I figured it would be a one-goal game, and it probably will end up that way.
Now, how important is it to take care of your defensive zone here in the third period?
Well, that's absolutely the key. I mean, they're going to have to gamble a little more. They pinch their defense now, and if we get a break and get that fourth goal, then it'll be difficult for them because we will be playing a defensive style after that.
Coach, well, good luck. See you after the game.
Thank you.
All right, so that is the end of the second period. 3-2 Florida Gulf Coast over Grand Valley. Let's head up to our intermission team, Andrew and Sean. Take it away, guys.
Thanks a lot, Dave. So, Sean, we thought it was going to be tied going into the third, and then that happened. So, what's your reaction right now?
My reaction is that Florida Gulf Coast, up 2-0, has given up two unanswered goals, and we're able to get that on the power play, and that means everything and more to this Eagles team right now. I mean, it's a confidence booster saying, you know what, we're still in this game, everything's fine. But I Gulf Coast team, getting the power play goal from Arnon, and being that as it is, again with less than 5 seconds left to go on the clock, Grand Valley, that's got to be going into the locker room very fresh into their mind. And I think it's big on them, in the negative mind state. But they can't just say, well, it's over now. But if that does happen though in the third period, then yes, it would be. But again, we got another 20 minutes to play, this game is going to be shaping up to be a good one at the end. I know that.
It's going to be a good one down the stretch. It's been a great game so far. A quick scoring summary in the second period. Only 2 goals scored, one by each team. Anthony Russo slammed home a goal for Grand Valley to tie the game up at 2. That at the 15:58 mark of the second period. And then just with 4 seconds left on the clock, we had Mark Arnone, a power play tally. The Eagles' second power play goal of the game gives them back the 1-goal lead. The shots in the second period were 19-9 in favor of Grand Valley. So, Sean, what's the message that Mike Forbes gives to his crew, outshooting the Eagles by that vast margin, but trailing on the scoreboard?
Keep going. You know that when you take as many shots as you do, and we've seen what Mike Reed has been doing in goal. He's made some good saves, but once again he's given up some rebounds, and we saw the goal that tied it up came out for rebound. And that's plain and simple. You just keep shooting the pucks on this guy, shooting low, get the bounces off the pads, and have somebody set it up there to put that rebound home. That's what they need. That's what they need to do. They just continue to do that. As for Reed, just got to try to control as many of those rebounds as possible. I've seen that he was doing a little bit better of a job in the second period for sure. But again, there's been still a few of them, including again with the goal that they scored to tie the game up Grand Valley. But again, they just got to keep doing that, keep crashing that net, keep looking for those rebounds, and that's basically what they need to do. And hopefully they'll be able to pull right ahead and come out with a victory in the third period. But that's yet to be seen.
Absolutely. And we heard Mike Forbes say that his team needs to get shots on goal. And you heard Rasty say that Mike Forbes will be very disappointed if his team has less than 50 shots on goal in a game. They have 32 shots after the second period. So they're really doing a good job of peppering Mike Reed, who's done an excellent job, like you said, of turning everything away. Now, on the flip side,
yes,
the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles gave up the goal, and they think that they're going into the locker room down tied at 2 here.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom, lightning in a bottle, our known tallies on the power play. What's Bob Brinkworth's message to his team going into the third?
The simple answer is this. For that, you see what we're able to do. We're able to get a quick goal. We have the ability to score on these guys. We saw how we were able to do it, and we're going to keep doing it like that. And until they have an answer for it, then we're just going to keep going like that. And if they don't, then we're going to have this game easy, boys. That's basically literally what the message is going to be from Bob Brinkworth.
Absolutely. And Brett did mention earlier in the game that these two teams met once during the regular season. That was at a Lindenwood Showcase. Grand Valley State coming away with a 3-2 victory over the Eagles. And actually, it was Tyler Tracy, who was in goal for the Eagles that day, stopping 26 out of 29 shots. And the Grand Valley Lakers scored 3 goals in the second period to take the lead, whereas Florida Gulf Coast had 1 in the second and 1 in the third. So kind of similar but not the same. As you saw, Grand Valley really ramped the pressure up in the second period, but it's different in that these two teams met in the regular season and had a stalemate in the first period. We had a 2-1 score after the first. Each team tallies. It's now a 3-2 lead. So third period game plans kind of similar in this situation. So what's one thing that you're looking for the Florida Gulf Coast team to defend their lead?
For Florida Gulf Coast, I think it's it's been real simple. I think it's the simple stuff. Stay out of the box, control the puck, make sure that nothing gets down low towards Mike Reed. Defend that net, contain the puck. It's fairly simple stuff. Just keep as many shots away from Mike Reed as possible. As Reed's going to make most, as we know, and just try to keep away from the rebounds. And we know that Reed, I believe, is going to be in our goal to our left, if I'm not mistaken. And just got to make sure that we got to watch out for those back boards on the left side, because it didn't take only the first shot before we saw another exact same bounce from that left quarter boards that came right out in front of the goal, which is something similar that we saw in the second overtime game between Liberty and William Patterson.
Absolutely. So a great game so far. We got a great third period coming up. It's going to be Brett and Rasty on the call. 3-2 Eagles after the second period. We'll be right back with the ACHA Division II National Championships here on YouTube. Welcome back to the Iceline Quad Rinks here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Third period of action getting ready to get started. It's a 3-2 lead for the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. Let's quickly take you through that scoring summary. 1 goal apiece. Anthony Russo scoring for the Lakers to tie the game up at 2 before Mark Arnone tallies on the power play for the Eagles with 4.1 seconds left to restore that lead for Florida Gulf Coast. The shots on goal in the second period, 19-9 in favor of Grand Valley State. Shots in the game are 32-26 in favor of the Lakers. As we get ready for the second period call, here is Brett Luthner and Rasty McGibbon.
Now, back here, third period about to start. 3-2. Florida Gulf Coast with the lead. You heard the shot totals as we get started here in the third. Eagles going left to right in the black jerseys, the white jerseys of the Lakers going right to left. And this one now being wound up and out. Into the zone and onside play. Dylan Dupre tried to split through. Got a one-handed shot off the save. And a rebound goes up and over the bar. Now this one up, chopped, and out to center. Gathered again, and Grand Valley State will come out with this. A bouncing puck just over the stick of Nick Schultz, number 25.
And really already about 30 seconds in, a fantastic opportunity for Grand Valley as the goaltender there.
And a turnaround shot, never getting it on goal. Still a puck kicked around a little bit, kept in the zone momentarily by Luzinski, and eventually comes up and all the way down. Set up behind by Aberle. Flipped up and out of the zone, and the Eagles try to get a nice little toe drag, though, and in goes Ostrowski. Tried to center one, couldn't quite get where he wanted to, and this one will go all the way down. Icing will be the call, and we get a whistle. A minute and 19 seconds gone by here in the third. Brett Luthner, Rasty McGibbon here at Iceline in Westchester, Pennsylvania. National semifinal number 1. And the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles lead the Grand Valley State Lakers 3-2.
And really, if you're a Florida Gulf Coast fan, I think really a lot of the same with an emphasis on defensive hockey for Grand Valley. I know that when Florida puts a lot of pressure on, getting it out of their own zone has seemed to be something that's been a little bit of problematic so far.
In the zone, a nice hip check put on Luzinski, put the hip into Mike Tremello.
I think if Grand Valley can kind of solve what has been a little bit of their Achilles heel in this match, and that is the breakout, and not in any way to discredit Florida Gulf, but a lot of the problems that they've had are due to Florida Gulf's tenacity in the Grand Valley defensive zone.
The puck comes along the wall, and Grand Valley will pitchfork it out to center. Gloving it down is Finkhouse. He tried to center one. It's deflected up and into the netting, and we get a stoppage of play with 18:15 to go in the third.
And even though this comment will seem a little bit rudimentary, Florida Gulf really has to worry when Grand Valley is in the Florida Gulf zone. And I know it's hard to score from 200 feet away, but one thing about Grand Valley is they are not afraid to shoot the puck. And one thing that we have seen is they can put pucks in the net very quickly. Both teams are going to need to stay out of the box for that special team.
This one rolls on goal. It's going to be interesting here, too, because, as we said, both teams, they can put pucks in the net quickly. They both pump a lot of shots on goal. A little more of a free-flowing style when you're the Eagles and a much more disciplined style with Grand Valley State. But they work their system so well.
Excellent execution on that last power play by Florida Gulf. And, one criticism that I had of them was they're a little bit too selective on that power play. But they seem to have thrown that to the wind in that last one there. And the rebound was what they're able to cash in on.
And that one rolled right out in front, and Aberley's just going to grab it, and we'll get another whistle. So a choppy start here to the third period.
Choppy start and really good opportunity there about 2 minutes ago by Florida Gulf Coast as there was a wide open top half of the net, and they were about a foot high and blasted in that protective netting that covers the ends of this rink number 1.
Zach Strange sends a long pass on up ahead. In the zone, an onside play is Claggett. He tries to send back to the point, out the center, and eventually gathered again by Goodrich. Cross-ice pass missed the mark, and now the Eagles get a chance to set up. A wall pass. Ahead goes Arnone, who's got the latest of the goals scored in this one. That one gave the Eagles the lead. It's a turnover, back down low. Claggett sends around. It's blocked off, but Grand Valley State still in possession. A wrist shot never gets through, and now this one will come out to center. Trying to skate ahead, Arnone gets taken down. Penalty call coming up.
And you look across at Mike Forbes, and he is shaking his head, and he is not happy about that one. You actually hear Local 307 Amateur Officials Union to my right saying let him play. And Grand Valley having taken the last two penalties, and now the face-off is going to come inside the zone of Grand Valley. And Florida Gulf really just needing to shoot that puck.
We'll see if they do here. It's all tied up in the circle before it finally works the point. There's the puck. Echeverry got it. Switches over, a shot, hits a leg in front. Backhanded up, but not out. His own Dupre on the keep. He'll send down low. Puck off the wall and then hits the side of the net before it's tied up there.
And one thing I have been a huge proponent of is the active box and close up those passing lanes.
Cross-ice pass, a backhand shot, waffle board, save, the rebound goes wide. Still side of the net. It's back out to the point now. Echeverry wants it. Instead, it's going to be a wrist shot from up high that goes deflecting wide. Dupre took it. He's got the puck down. And does eventually clear to center. Slugged further down by Emmer.
And four fresh white jerseys come over that board here with just about a minute burned up. But Echeverry not afraid to shoot that puck.
Now chipping his own, short-handed, offside is the call. As they are saying just ahead of the play, it was Tommy Carey.
And that could have, that actually would have been the best opportunity for Grand Valley on a shorty opportunity there springing in. We see Mike Forbes over there now yelling at the official, trying to get some explanation.
Well, now everybody's saying, the officials are saying faceoff's going to stay, and now Grand Valley gets kicked out of the circle. I think Forbes is saying that offside was touched near, closer to the Florida Gulf Coast line. That's why I wanted to face off lower. In the meantime, in is Garst. He holds up. Cross-ice pass, setting it up now Marlinski. Back to Garst. Snaps one down low into the corner. Peeling away with this, and now the Eagles will set up again.
Active sticks out in those passing lanes, as you see by Grand Valley. Willing to sacrifice their body.
And that's a save made off the wrister. A bouncing puck. Chamello watching everything. Now he switches off to the high slot. Chamello's got the puck now. Goes up high for Marlinski.
16 seconds left.
Cross-ice pass for a shot right into the midsection of the goaltender, Yuri Averley.
And he did a fantastic job of pushing off of that left leg onto his pads and sliding across, and he was in excellent position for a pretty low probability shot from about 5 feet north of the goal line there. Position back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Grand Valley State player standing up in that penalty box ready to retake the ice.
Now on the right, the man advantage.
And really the first half of that power play, Florida Gulf Coast looked really good. And then in the second half, a little bit more tentative what we've seen for them, or maybe I should say selective.
In the zone, on side, it's Klotz. Tries to dip the shoulder. The centering pass, score! Water bottle knocked off on that centering pass. The spinning celebration. Eagles have a 2-goal lead.
An excellent execution, and really the defenseman about a half step behind as the Florida Gulf forward streaking down on this near wing and almost down to the goal line before he was to send it through the crease and defensively drawn over with Florida Gulf Coast roofing that one. And as you said, they sent the water bottle flying to the wall.
I do believe that was Dylan Dupre, sir.
Really, you could not have executed that any better as Florida Gulf Coast now having retaken the lead in shots and adding to their lead in goals, 4-2.
So now the Lakers down 2. Again, second time this game. They came
and
back
there's plenty of time.
Smacked that, and Grand Valley looking to come out. Getting chopped down, I should say, was Finkhouse. The Grand Valley fans want to call, none given. Echeverry, he can't split the D though. And now skating another way is Finkhouse. Tries the right wing side, gets there, shot save made by Reed, and he holds on. 13:47 left here, national semifinal number 1. Brett Luthner, Rusty McGibbon, Andrew Shapiro and Sean Brederick are across the way.
And really, if you're a Florida Gulf Coast fan, things have just got to continue the way that they have been going. For Grand Valley, the transition out of their zone and to get to some sustained pressure in the Florida Gulf is going to be their key. But they are going to need to double their goal production here in the next 13 minutes.
This is now a 2-on-2. It could be a 2-on-1 shot save made by Aberley, and he holds on. By the way, I wanted to mention Dave Kurtz doing the interviews between periods, pre and post game as well.
Ute Vision with the United States, Canada, and beyond.
Not counting others that are gathered at team watching parties.
Why go to class on Monday morning when you can watch hockey?
Exactly. Here, this one's sent around the wall, and it'll wrap around the boards and possibly getting it out of his own. Burnett can't do so, though. Reed Burnett's been held quiet here in this one. As the guys had mentioned across the way, he's got 9 goals this season, but 5 of them have been of the game winner variety. This one sent up and out to center and then chipped into the Grand Valley State zone. Burnett's got it behind. Puck around now, and away goes Koleski. Give on the left-hand side, and moving it in is D-Day. He's in a shot, pawing at it was Reed, but it goes over and catches the glass. Burnett, shot, hit the crossbar with the shot! Sent up and out of the zone. The backhand, and skating ahead with this one now is Russo. Tried to put one on goal, couldn't do, and now a tie-up before it comes out to center. Back on it and trying to skate ahead with this one is Finkhouse. He gets it in the zone. Tied up there with Marlinski, puck behind. Skating around with this one, Colton Bailey around the wall. Further help, Dylan Dupre. Sends back around on a hard. And now the Eagles look to come out, and it's not quite in the numbers favor for them. A bouncer rolls on goal. And Aberley is going to gather with 12:02 to go in the third.
And Aberley taking no chances there, getting down on his knees with the paddle down, and his face about 10 inches off the ice. And he did not want to make sure that puck took any bounces as it came in on him. 4-2, Florida Gulf Coast over Grand Valley in this number 1 semifinal. You will have Liberty and Miami of Ohio playing here in just about an hour and 15 minutes.
This is a bouncer center ice, and it'll be slugged into the zone.
And that really has to be Florida's MO for the rest of this game, is just dump it in. And you're going to see, as you probably get close to the 8-minute mark or so, they are just going to send in one forechecker and really get in a defensive set with 2 guys at the blue line and 2 defensemen out at the red line. And unless they got a clear break, they're just going to send one guy in.
It's a mini 3-on-2 score! From a sharp angle on this one, it's Nick Hauser, and the Eagles take a 5-2 lead.
And Nick Hauser really beating the goaltender high on his glove side into that near upper corner of the net for us, and Florida Gulf is starting to make this one out of reach. As we see in 50 minutes of hockey, Grand Valley has only been able to muster 33 shots. When in other contests, they are mustering over 50 after 60 minutes.
And the lead now 3. Florida Gulf Coast coming into this had scored 24 goals in their previous 3 games. They got 5 more this afternoon. And so now the Laker fans trying to urge their team on here. A wrist shot, that goes up and over, and that taken by Carey. Behind the net, a centering pass out in front, bounces around a little bit. Neutral zone play now, and the dump back in by Buck Maynard, number 8.
So here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, Grand Valley really needs to get one, which will give them about the same amount of time to get another. And then with 2 minutes, you can try to get your third with the man advantage.
The dangerous part is both of these teams can score goals in bunches. So even though the timing mechanisms of that seem to be the right way to go about it, you never know. Grand Valley may pop two in a matter of mere seconds.
That is the way you do it if you played in the Utopian Hockey League.
Well, this is true. In the Utopian Hockey League, everything is perfect. Or at least it seems to be. And now I'm remembering some olden television game. In the meantime, the other way, stick handling pass is knocked off and back out.
You're really going old school on me there.
I can go old school with that, though. And I used to play that game frequently. Center ice play. And Grand Valley State trying to step forward, flying through the air. And getting knocked off a little bit. Try to avoid contact was the number 17, Austin Koleski. Cross ice pass nicely read by Luzinski. His shot blocked and deflected right to Reed, and he holds on.
And by Reed, that is definitely a smart play. Florida Gulf can get their fresh crew out there, and it appears that we may be taking. We are.
Yes, it is.
With that, I turn it over to Brett for Pay Some Bills.
We will pay some bills, is right. You're watching the American Collegiate Hockey Association Division II National Championship live from Iceline in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We would like to thank Pro Stock Hockey, Bauer, USA Hockey, and Barron Championship Rings, the official provider of championship ring supplier for the ACHA. We would also like to thank the Westchester Visitor Bureau, Iceline Quad Rinks, App Hammer, and our broadcast partner, Utah Hockey, through, as we like to say, Ute Vision.
I did have the opportunity yesterday of interviewing the new commander-in-chief for Division II, Jay Peacock. And one thing that he said is going to be a little bit of his platform is academic athletics here in Division II. Have over 100 competing All-American academic athletes here. And from Florida Gulf Coast, Michael Chimello, Jack Emmer, Tyler Tracy from Grand Valley, Christian Bielek, Nate Dykstra, Austin Jacobs, Blaine Marnie, Zach Nash, and Eric White. Well done, lads.
Now here, 5-2, Eagles with the lead. The long pass misses the mark. Will it be icing? Yes, it will be. And the faceoff will come all the way down in the Florida Gulf Coast zone. And I think we're already going to start to see that 1-4 checker keep the two other forwards up high.
Yeah, and for Florida Gulf, they're pretty heavily in the driver's seat, and so they can afford to kind of shift the balance from maybe 50-50 to 80-20, 80% defensive and 20% offensive, just to keep a little bit of pressure on Grand Valley. Those academic All-Americans had a 3.2 average or better. I think the only class I got a 4.0 in was orientation.
And some people don't even get that one. A shot. Yours truly may be included in that. I'd have to look. Around the net it goes. Trying to skate this on the other side is Russo, and the Lakers will gather. Long pass ahead to Bishop. Michael Bishop from the blue line. That was deflected and just missed the mark. I don't know if Reed expected that to come in so high. In the meantime, this will be set up behind Garst. He'll send it on the right wing side. Ahead is Leon. Onside play, the chip in. Coming out of his net to play it is Aberle. Puck in the near corner. Works its way to the point. Chopping out at Gudowitz. Instead, it's out the center. Nice pass ahead in the zone. Rainey. His shot right into the logo again. There's been about 4 or 5 of those shots into the logo of Mike Reed.
And one thing we talked about yesterday in the Arizona State Florida Gulf, he gives up juicy rebounds when you get them on the leg pads. If you get it up above the leg pads, when he goes in that butterfly, he is going to hold it. And Florida Gulf is confident in their own zone. They skate very well. They're able to get the puck out. And really, that is something that Grand Valley has only been able to do for moments in this game, and that is to get sustained pressure for long periods of time in the Florida Gulf Coast zone.
That was blasted on a deflection out of play, and someone playing a little
stick and puck.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. Some people, no, that's soccer. It's keep you up. Never mind.
So, really, I think the thing for Florida Gulf is at all costs, they have got to, if they have to take a penalty, it's got to be in their own defensive zone. Do not take a penalty in the offensive zone.
That was a weird hop there. Puck behind. Dupre now on it. Oh, he gets the rough ride there from Ostrowski to the point for a wrister that's deflected wide from Garst. And now here come the Lakers the other way, but again, a 2-on-3 in this case.
And they're going to change 3 bodies there for Grand Valley as they were tired.
Back out to center. Reed Burnett picks it up and skates in. His shot and a penalty call coming up. Just what you were saying, Rasty. Penalties in the defensive zone here. There's the ones you'd rather take. I don't think you'd want to take that one, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to take one 10 feet inside the blue line. But really, Mike Forbes, if need be, now is the time that you really would even consider taking a timeout to rest that number 1 power play unit and to get all your guys out as they get a slashing call here with 7:48. And Forbes is going to have his number 1 unit out there. And this really is going to be where the rubber meets the road because Grand Valley down by 3. They have got to get 1, and then they have got to get 2 more in the next 7:48.
Well, that's not going to help. It is off the faceoff. It's slugged all the way down.
And you're seeing 1 forechecker in by Florida Gulf. 4 Grand Valley players there in their zone.
Nearly
again,
a turnover.
Already pressure by Florida Gulf.
Tipped in, no icing. Slugged around the wall, but stepping up to this Finkhouse. Tries to throw it out in front. He gets it back. Finkhouse, he wanted to go backhand. Had it knocked off his stick by Chamello. To the point, Burnett, score! Deflect, nope, wave it off. As it was knocked in with a high stick. And so it'll stay at 5-2. Still a minute 30 to go on the power play, but they are saying it was deflected in with a high stick. Face off outside the zone. And
but I am going to tell you something, and again, I did not see that call, and at this point in time, we do not have slow motion capabilities, but he was right on the goal line, about 10 feet to the blocker side of Reed, and he positionally was in a good spot to make that call.
This one sent up and out to center, so the Eagles catch a break. And then Klotz skates ahead shorthanded. It's the mashup on in the corner and then loses an edge. And now let's see if the Lakers can take advantage of this. Just a little bit behind Burnett, and then the Lakers have to regroup.
Yeah, and the Lakers really just need to take the opportunities and let the puck really do the work for them as they try to look for that great pass and to skate the puck all the way into the zone. But I think they could do just as much by dumping it in and
sent down low. Now back out to the point. They'll be gathered by Burnett. Left wing circle. Burnett waiting for it. Gets it back. His shot blocked. He'll take another one. That's why the mark. Centering pass across it. A good job deflecting it. Logan Garst. He scored one of the goals. The second goal, the power play goal for the Eagles, and now makes that big play. Spin move by Burnett in the zone. He gets a rough ride into the wall, but still with it is Bishop. Tried to stuff it out in front with 15 to go on the power play. Instead, it's slugged all the way down. Inside of 6 minutes to go, third period. Aberley didn't realize the puck went behind him. And the Lakers looking a little disjointed right now, trying to get out of the zone here. A couple players take a tumble, and the Eagles have possession. The power play is over. Grand Valley State is 1 for 3 with the man advantage. They trail by 3 with 5:37 to go here in the third.
And that was an important one for them. Grand Valley, I don't think, if they were to look at the last 55 minutes of hockey that they played, I don't think that they would say that they played, like their plan for a lot of that time. A lot of pressure by Florida Gulf Coast, and they have done an excellent job of
a turnaround shot goes whistling through. And to the point, things will be set up here by the Lakers. Centering pass is deflected away, and a rebound to the point, but kept in by Luzinski. They send it down low, again around the wall, that by Hamilton. Puck sent out in front, a couple players chop away at it, to the point where it's sent down by Strain. Cut off and out to center. 3-goal deficit here that the Lakers have to overcome, and they only have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to do so. Into the corner, going after it is Garst. The centering pass that gets deflected wide on the shot. Garst again, he'll just peel back behind the net. And now the Eagles come out to center. Good little combination passing to get into the Lakers zone. Trying to step around was Leon, but he couldn't do so. And then back into the...
And this is where you're going to see Florida Gulf just very happy, as we talked about, in a defensive stacking. Right now they got 2 guys in forechecking, but very happy with just getting the puck in. And once they get control, then you'll see more guys come in. We see now the defenseman drifting down to that blue line.
Now sent in on a cycle. Klotz. Stuff attempt. Save made Aberle, and he holds on. And Aberle gets bowled over and is holding his mask right now. He is fully in the net. And we get the whistle here with 3:53 to go in the third, and Aberle slow to get to his feet.
You are not going to see much in terms of penalties being called in this last 3:53. I think unless I would be very surprised if you see a call of anything happening in the neutral zone. It's going to be in one of the zones. It's going to be something that affects the ability of one or the other teams to score a goal.
Aberle shakes it off. He gets set. Face off to his left. It'll be Hauser to take the draw. He wins it to Echeverry. Sent around the wall. First one on it is Birchler. It's chipped up and out of the zone, and now the Lakers have to hurry here. Marin into the zone. His shot right up high on Reed. The rebound sits loose and then slugged into the corner. Backhanded up but not out of the zone. A bouncing puck. And the Lakers are trying to control. Eagles are content just tying everything up down low. You wanted a penalty call on that, but none given. Crunch put on behind the net. Merritt going in after it. And then a whistle.
3:15 left to go in the third period. I'm Rasty McGibbon, Brett Lithner to my left. And this has been a dandy. And really this third period has been a lot of Florida Gulf Coast with surgical precision on man advantage rushes where they have been able to find the upper portion of that net. And that is why it is not a close contest anymore.
It's 5-2. And time starting to run short for the lone representative of a team from any other region in the Southeast. 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four from the Southeast region, 1 from the Central, that being Grand Valley State.
I'm going to send a quick shout out to a good buddy of mine, Dave Semenina, there at the Home Hardware in Red Deer, just off of Highway 2. And he's listening in, so some of our people listening in Canada, in the great state of Alberta.
Now you make me want to get some Tim Hortons.
Oh, my God.
Coming the other way. Nice little stick handling move, but the shot never gets on goal.
Don't tease me, Brett.
Now whistle is blown. Faceoff will stay in the zone as the net gets knocked off with 2:32 left to go in the third. 5-2 the score. And while they're putting the net back on, I mean, fortunately for me, it's not a full Tim Hortons, but one of the rinks around me has a Tim Hortons inside the rink.
Okay, very good.
So I can partake in the chocolate chip muffins that I enjoy so well.
Oh, boy. It's good stuff. 2:32 left to go in this third period, 5-2. Florida Gulf Coast now just a matter of fighting the clock, and that is the only thing they're battling here to get out and get to that hotel room for a little nap and some food and some...
Rasty's got me thinking about a lot of things, some of it hockey. A shot blocked up and out to, no, not out to center. Good keep there at the line for the dump in by Rainey. However, Florida Gulf Coast in possession of it, and this gets sent up and out of play. And the Laker fans that are nearest to us, the Florida Gulf fans are on the far end. The Laker fans trying one last gasp to urge their team on with 125 seconds left to go in this one.
And you know, if you're Florida Gulf, their speed has really paid off for them in this. To be honest, I'm a little surprised at the outcome, and in no way to discredit Florida Gulf. Grand Valley, having seen such a commanding performance in the first 2 days, team's not the caliber of Florida Gulf, but you know, just able to mount so many shots. But today they have met a Florida Gulf team that has definitely had their number. And I think when they go back and they watch this tape, they are not going to be as happy as they could have been. Now with the puck coming in on Reed there with 1:33 left to go in the third period. Shots are almost even at at 39 for Grand Valley and 40 for Florida Gulf. But the thing that matters is the number above those on our scoreboard, and that is the score, which is 5-2 in terms of Florida Gulf Coast, and 1:33 until their subway ticket is punched, and they're going to take the train to the final tomorrow.
To meet the winner of Liberty and Miami of Ohio. That game coming up at 3 p.m. right here on the Utah Hockey Network, if you will.
Ute Vision.
There's so many different ones, but the University of Utah doing a great job producing these games all weekend long for you to enjoy for free on YouTube. Center ice here in the last minute of play. The dip in the shoulder by Merritt. Tries to center one out in front. Instead, it's slipped up and out and back into the Grand Valley zone. Burnett with the long pass onto the stick of Merritt. Drops a pass off for Carey. Tommy Carey in the corner with 40 to go. It's sent out. Burnett pinches down low. Staying in his net is Yuri Aberle to our right. A wrist shot deflected into the corner. Skating after this one is Michael Bishop, but that's intercepted and sent all the way down. No icing on this one as the puck lost its legs in the faceoff circles. 18 to go in this contest. The Florida Gulf Coast Eagles will run their overall record to 29-5 on the season, and Grand Valley's season will end with a 30 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie mark. In the final seconds tick off, the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles will head to the national championship game with a 5-2 victory over the Grand Valley State Lakers.
And, you know, really, as we see guys in there hugging the goaltender, I think if I'm totally objective, there was only one that the goaltender should have had, and that was the first one. And that would not have made the difference in this contest, as we had Florida Gulf streak in on this right wing, and they were able to put one 5-hole on the goaltender, but nothing at all to hang your head about. He gave them a chance to win, and but Florida Gulf rose to the occasion in those black sweaters with palm trees on, and they will live to play another day.
And this one really got started. Mike Tremello scored to make it 1-0, but Logan Garst on the power play made it 2-0 and really put Grand Valley in a hole. They dug out of it to tie it at 2, but Logan Garst also played an excellent defensive game for Florida Gulf Coast, and eventually the Eagles would tack on 3 more and win it 5-2.
And yeah, and I think I think the thing is really, this has been excellent execution by Florida Gulf. I think my criticism, I would still stand behind what I said early on. A little bit too selective on the power play, but they were able to make it happen when they needed. And one thing that's fantastic at this collegiate level, after all the games, there is the handshake, and you see guys that have met on the battlefield throughout this year, giving each other a tap on the chest or a hug. And, for some guys, this is absolutely going to be the last opportunity to ever play organized hockey at the collegiate level again. And we do have David Kurtz down on the ice, and we send that to him now.
Hi, I'm with Logan Garson. Logan, congratulations.
Thank you. We're looking forward to another game tomorrow.
All right, how big was that early goal that you guys were able to pot to set the tone for the game?
It's huge, anytime you can get the first goal in a game, it obviously sets the tempo for yourself. You just got to keep battling from there.
All right, so in the second period, when the play started to shift a little bit toward the Lakers, what were you guys talking on the bench as the period wore on?
We just, when another team gets momentum like that, just can't get down on yourself. You got to play as a team and just keep going. They did start out pretty hard in the second period, and we started to match their intensity toward the end of the second, and we came out in the third, and we buried them.
All right, so third final in a row. You guys are going to be playing at teams that you played earlier in the season. You swept Miami down in Florida Gulf Coast. You went 1-3 against Liberty. Do you have a choice on who you'd like to face in the finals?
Well, I don't know. Liberty's got a great team this year. We've had pretty successful games with them in the past years. Miami of Ohio is another great team. We'll just have to see. Come out and play. Doesn't even matter.
All right, well, good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, guys, over to Andrew and to Sean to wrap us up here. And we'll see you in a few minutes after that at the 3 o'clock game with Liberty against Miami of Ohio to face Florida Gulf Coast in the national championship game. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Dave. So, final score 5-2. Florida Gulf Coast defeats the Grand Valley State Lakers. They're going back to the finals. It's their third consecutive year that they're going to the final game. Fourth time in the last 5 years.
Wow.
But we'll get to tomorrow a little bit later. Let's talk about today.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won 5-2. They outshoot the Lakers 40-39. So that's an accomplishment in and of itself. It's just outshooting a team like Grand Valley, but what else did the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles do right to get to this spot?
I tell you what, in this third period, Florida Gulf Coast just went into complete shutdown mode. They were able to add on another 2 goals to their tally. It just kind of seemed like every time a Grand Valley State player threw something on net, it would hit a stick of a Florida Gulf Coast player, and then the puck would go back the other way. It was incredible defensive play. Once again, the puck control game, Florida Gulf Coast dominated it, and Grand Valley likes to be able to fly up and down the boards, but Florida Gulf Coast was able to match them and outclass them in that category. And that's basically ultimately why Florida Gulf Coast, for the fourth time in the last 5 years, as you just mentioned, are going.
Now, we said it off camera before this game started that it was going to be a battle of a systems team in Grand Valley against an all-offense team like Florida Gulf Coast, and obviously we see the end result. So was it just a difference in game plans, or was it something that one team did right versus one team doing wrong that you think made the difference today?
I think both teams played very well, but Florida Gulf Coast just stick to their game plan, and their game plan was better overall, better than Grand Valley State.
All right, so real quick, if you're joining us late, what we're going to do is we are going to go over our scoring recap. All right, or we're not going to go over our scoring recap. We are actually going to throw it across the way to Brett Luthner, and he will close it out. So, Brett, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Once again, our final score 5-2 in favor of Florida Gulf Coast. They advance to the national championship game to take on the winner of our next game at 3 p.m. between Miami of Ohio and Liberty. For Andrew Shapiro, Sean Brederick, and Rasty McGibbon, I'm Brett Luthner, and Dave Kurtz, of course. I'm Brett Luthner. Thank you very much for watching this presentation of the ACHA Division II National Championships here from Iceland in Westchester. At 3 p.m. is Game 2 between Miami and Liberty. We'll see you then.